What's going on, people? I am B Dobbins, FTW. And sooner or later, everyone gets pissed off at games, especially if it's online multiplayer. Anger sucks the fun out of gaming. It's the most common obstacle we face when trying to enjoy ourselves while gaming. Games are supposed to be something we do to relax, to enjoy ourselves, and so it's tragic when they turn into something that upsets us. It's like being thirsty and accidentally drinking fucking salt water. I wanted to talk a little bit about how to prevent and or recover from gaming-induced rage. Over the years, I've developed quite a few gaming anger management exercise strategies, or games. This is because gaming-induced rage has been an enormous and constant problem in my own life. It started back when I was a kid and I was trying to 1v1 every character on Super Smash Bros. At the highest difficulty, and I could beat everyone but fucking Falco, and he pissed me off so bad that one time I ended up throwing my only GameCube controller at the fucking wall and breaking it, and then it was a long time before I could play Smash again and I was really bored, all over a goddamn AI Falco. When you let anger get the best of you, it'll ruin all your fun, sometimes for a while. There was another time I smashed my 360 in with my foot on Black Ops 1. There was the time my GF beat me at Super Mario Strikers and I cussed her out and threw the game disc out the window. I've learned the hard way that anger sucks, and that if it goes unchecked, it can very easily turn gaming from a net positive to a net negative in your life. Now, what's changed is that I'm no longer powerlifting every day with puberty pumping testosterone in me at 2,000% above what's normal, and I don't hate my life the way I did before I was a free man. But I'm sure many of you are still stuck in that phase or haven't even started it yet, so this video is for you guys mostly. But even after you grow up, as I like to pretend I have, even when you can control your anger and manage not to throw things or scream at the top of your fucking lungs, it still sucks having to experience it. Just feeling anger sucks the fun out of gaming. It makes many of us get off games much earlier than we otherwise would have. It means less fun, not to mention it's bad for your health. And anger is a tricky emotion to manage because it snowballs. When you're pissed off, you play worse, and then you get even more pissed off and you play even worse. There's been studies on this which show that, and I quote, anger makes people think more optimistically, danger seems smaller, action seems less risky, ventures seem more likely to succeed, and unfortunate events seem less likely. Angry people are more likely to make risky decisions and make more optimistic risk assessments. So what they're essentially saying is that anger clouds your judgment. The angrier we get, the more unrealistic we become about what's possible, about what risks are worth taking. This hurts the quality of our decision-making process, which is problematic in gaming because decision-making and aim are the only two fucking tools you are competing with. I remember this time back on MW2, which I'm sure will go down in history as the most infuriating game of the 21st century. I was playing some domination on high rise, like you do, and there was this one cocksucking son of a bitch who was camping really hard in the one building that lets you get up into those high windows through the crane, and he was shitting on me and my team, and he calls in the Harrier and then the chopper gunner, and I'm not stupid. I know what's coming. He's gonna try and drop that nuke. You pull up the scoreboard, he's like 19-0. And I'm already pissed off at this point, right? Because I failed to kill him like several times. He's killed me a whole bunch with his gun, with his Harrier, his chopper gunner. And in my mind, I have only one goal in life. I'm gonna kill this fucking guy before he drops that nuke. I hated him, and to this day I remember his fucking gamer tag. The research calls it optimistic. I call it obsessively determined. I'm gonna kill this fucking guy. I'm unaware of any risks like that he might have claymores, or he'll see me on his heartbeat sensor, that I'm charging into the enemy spawn by myself. Oh, I'll just get in there through the crane too. It's not like anyone's gonna see me doing that shit, huh? This venture seems likely to succeed. Unfortunate events like death by claymore seemed unlikely to me. I was optimistic that I would be able to skullfuck this guy. But of course I did die on the crane. I did die when he saw me on the heartbeat sensor. I did die from the claymores. I did get gangbanged by a bunch of his friends as they spawned. And I got angrier each time. And each time I was all the more confident that this time I would fucking get that guy as I charged once more into the breach. Finally, the guy was 24-0, and I go hunting into the building, right? At this point, he's out of claymores, he's had to pick up a new weapon, he's run out of ammo, he doesn't have his heartbeat sensor. I'm being cautious. I'm running my stealth class. I'm creeping along, looking for his 24-0 ass, alright? And I walk into a room, he kills me instantly. I didn't even fucking see him. And in the kill cam, he's just sitting there, aiming down sights at the door in the very back of the spawn. There's absolutely no reason for him to think that he's ever gonna see an enemy back there to finish this nuke, except that he knows I'm pissed off, and he knows I'm gonna come all the way back there, and he knows I'm gonna search every room for his ass, because he's seen me come back again and again and again. He played me the way a matador plays a bull, and when the match is over, I realized the guy probably wouldn't have even gotten his nuke if I hadn't so obsessively went after him again and again and again. I ended up giving him most of his kills post chopper gunner, but I was too pissed off to even consider that, or to consider how unrealistic and hopeless my plans to kill him had been. If I had just kept a cool head, I might have recognized that sooner or later he would have to expose himself to danger, had I not just been feeding him the free kills. My decision-making process was compromised by my anger, and the terrible decisions I made only made me angrier and more stupid. And of course, when that match was over, I was fucking furious, just livid. I threw my controller, I'm screaming, I punched a hole in the wall, all this shit. Cussing at the top of my lungs. This is back in the day when my friends would have to take their mics off when I started having one of these meltdowns, because I would just lose my fucking shit, and it wasn't pretty, and I'm glad it's over, because it was kind of embarrassing. My mistake was gaming hungry, because the truth is I was pissed off even before the match had started, because sometimes you come home from, football practice or whatever, and there ain't shit to eat. A lot of the time, gaming isn't even the actual source of our anger, but it's the trigger. It's a lit match, and if you get too close to it when you're covered in oil, boom, shakalaka laka laka laka. If you're hungry, if you haven't gotten any exercise in a few days, if you're sick or you haven't gotten enough sleep, if you're already pissed off, or in my experience, if you've had a whole lot of sugar recently, you are 10 times more susceptible to rage. The most important method of gaming anger management is understanding when you're already combustible. Now the causes I just mentioned, sugar and lack of food or exercise, those are the universal ones that can get us all. There's been plenty of studies to show that stuff adversely affects our ability to regulate our emotions, be it anger or depression. But it can be other stuff too, depending on the person. If you're in a fight with your significant other, if you just got off work and it was a shitty ass shift because it's a toxic ass work environment with little bitches always trying to undercut you, leaving the lid halfway off the ranch and blaming it on you to the boss, if you're having terrible allergies, if you're a smoker who's gone too long without a cigarette, it can be any number of these things. We all have our own shit, but the most important thing you can do is recognize when your state of mind is already under siege and try to deal with that before you start playing games. It's going to save you a lot of money on controllers, okay? Especially you teenagers still going through puberty. Eat some food if you're hungry, if there's not an immediate solution for what's pissing you off. Some things that always calm me down: hot showers, masturbation, and fat bong rips, okay? If you're in a bad mood, do at least one, preferably all three, okay? A good hit of marijuana should alleviate your state of mind from just about everything I mentioned except being hungry. It's only gonna make that worse. And hey, you don't wanna do drugs, don't do drugs, but I'm just saying stress and anger are always gonna kill you a lot faster than marijuana and beer. Not faster than hard drugs or hard alcohol, but faster than marijuana and beer, okay? Now the trick is being self-aware enough to realize when you're grumpy. For instance, one thing I've noticed with myself is that I'm much more likely to engage in shit-talking or hate mail flame war correspondence when I haven't gotten a good night's sleep or if I haven't eaten. Typically, if I get people running their mouths at me in messages or what have you, I'll just basically ignore it. I'm just like, whatever, haters gonna hate, and I forget about it in 10 minutes. But when I'm pissy, when I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, you know what, you little brat, you need a fucking talking to. Why don't you take your fucking criticism and shove it up your fart box, you fucking cunt rag, piece of shit, ass clown motherfucker? I'm also much more likely to initiate the shit talking. Like when someone's just being an absolute dipshit in Overwatch competitive, after the match I just have the urge to let them know what a fucking dipshit they've been. And usually, not always, but usually, I catch myself. I'm like, wait a minute, this will accomplish nothing. Why am I getting bogged down in it? I must be pissy, and then I'm always like, oh yeah, it's 5 o'clock and I haven't eaten yet. Oh yeah, I haven't gotten out of this chair in 3 days. I better go smoke some weed to calm down. A good way to recognize when you're grumpy is to notice when you are having a disproportionately negative response to something that you can usually handle. When I've had enough food and sleep, getting killed is a part of the game. When I'm hungry and tired, every death is fucking bullshit, cheating, the developers are incompetent fuckwad cucks. And anytime you get hate mail from someone, whether they're telling you how much you fucking suck or anything mean or negative at all, as long as they initiate it, just reply with the following: I hope this made you feel better. Alright? End quote. And then don't say anything else after that, no matter how they reply, okay? You win the flame war by making them look shallow and pedantic while successfully pointing out the futility of what they're doing and making it clear that in the grand scheme of things, grander than the boundaries of this game, you are looking down on them and not the other way around. You get to kind of pretend you're taking the high road by not engaging in the shit talking, even as you sink the knife in. Don't get bogged down in these back and forth oral Vietnams. They only make you angrier, and nobody ever really wins. The For the Win query of the day is, what is the angriest you've ever been at a video game? And I think I might have asked that before, but it always gets the most entertaining responses, so I have no problem asking it again. Thanks for watching. This is Batman, signing out.